All right, so we talked about bisecting an angle. Now we're going to talk about angle addition postulate. It's the same exact thing as the segment addition postulate, except it's for angles. So if you feel good about the segment addition postulate, you're in good shape, because angle addition is the same thing. If you're a little shaky on segment addition postulate, you're in good shape. Why? Because we're going to strengthen our skills and get better at it. All right, so drawing pictures when we don't have them, labeling it, all of it's incredibly important. Even me, somebody that gets paid to do geometry all day, I'm going to label the pictures. It helps me know exactly what I have. So QPR is that angle right there. It's telling me that it's 24 degrees. QPS, the whole thing, it's telling me that it's 85 degrees. I kind of like to put it floating out in there. All right, now these aren't the same anymore. So I have to find this missing angle over here. What is this? All right. So we got the angle addition postulate. I can say, well, the measure of angle QPR plus the measure of angle RPS equals the measure of angle QPS. All right. And then let's just fill in what we know. All right, little typo on this, that's an R. That was a weird looking R. I'll make my handwriting a little bit better. That's 24 degrees. We don't know the measure of angle RPS. We know QPS is 85 degrees. All right, so this is being very tedious, writing out the angle addition postulate, filling in all the numbers, showing every single step of work. Would you need to show this much work on your own? Probably not. But it's very good to be tedious, especially when we're practicing something for the first time. And we can see that that's 61 degrees. All right, which kind of makes sense. 24 plus 61 equals 85. All right, now let's cruise right along. This one does not have a picture. So it says let Q be in the interior of angle POR. So let's just draw some random angle like this. POR. Now it says Q is on the interior, so let's just put Q there. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to make a ray that goes through it. Now it's telling me that POQ is 54. It's telling me that QOR is 81. It says find the measure of angle POR, and since that's the whole angle, that's going to equal the two smaller parts. Measure of angle POQ plus the measure of angle QOR. All right, and then we just fill in all the parts we know. We're going to get 54 plus 81. And we're going to do the calculations as measure of angle POR equals 135 degrees. So the whole thing's 135 degrees. We didn't draw a 135 degree angle. That's okay. Just reference that we had what parts and what we needed to find. Few more problems, cruising right along. So this one right here, we're going to add some algebra in it. It says given that LKN, the whole thing, is 145, we're going to find the measures of both the smaller ones. So how do we do that? Well, we know that the measure of angle LKN, plus the measure of angle MKN is equal to the measure of angle LKN. Being incredibly tedious right now, that's a good habit to have. That's the red angle. Then LK, oops. I was supposed to say LKM, excuse me. See, even us teachers have little brain farts here and there. LKM, plug that in right there. MK in, plug that in right there. So I'm going to have 2x plus 10 plus 4x minus 3 equals 145. And if I can get this equation right here, I think I'm in good shape. I think it's the hardest to set up the equation. From here, I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 2x plus 4x, 6x. Remember, since it's on the same side, it's combine like terms. Combine those, I'm going to get 6x plus 7 equals 145. Subtract 7 from both sides, because now I'm moving the 7 to the other side. I want to undo it. I think x is going to be 23. Let me double check my work though. It is. Okay, so we found x, and then it told me to find the measure of both of these other angles right here. So what I got to do is the measure of angle LKM, which is 2. Instead of x, I'm going to put 23 plus 10, which you guys can use a calculator, but it's 56 degrees. And then to find the other one, measure of angle MKN is equal to 4 times 23 minus 3. And I think that's going to be 9. Let me double check my work. Always use a trusty calculator when in doubt. And hooray, I was right. And which is, you can double check too, both these numbers, 56 and 89, add to 145 degrees, which was the whole thing anyways. Okay, a couple more. Let T be in the interior of KWF. All right, so I'm just going to draw some angle, KWF. And remember, since K is the middle point, that has to be the vertex. And T is just somewhere in the interior. So boom, now we have that. All right. So we need to find the value of y and the measure of angle KWT and the measure of angle TWF. All right, so I'm just going to label things. KWT right there is 3y plus 7. 5y minus 2 is that part right there. And then the whole stinking thing, 61. So I'm going to use my good friend, the angle addition postulate, and say that the measure of angle KWT plus the measure of angle TWF equals the measure of angle KWF. Then I'm just going to plug in everything, how that was 3y plus 7. That's 5y minus 2, and that's 61. Combine like terms, I'm going to get 8y. 7 minus 2 is plus 5, equals 61. Subtract 5, get 8y equals 56. Divide both sides by 8, and y equals 7. All right, but don't forget I must plug it back in, because that's what the question asked. So I'm going to get 3 times 7 plus 7, which is 28 degrees. I get 5 times 7 minus 2, which is 33 degrees. Which is really nice, because 28 plus 33 equals 61 degrees. So I know I solved for y correctly. I know I plugged it in correctly. Everything's good. All right, so what I really like about these problems is we should have a pretty good idea if we're doing it right or wrong by plugging it back in to everything. All right, it's like we're checking our work. We can ensure success. Last problem with the notes. Given that EFG is a right angle, so that's 90 degrees. Furthermore, we know because of this box right here. So I gotta find the measures of the two smaller ones. So measure of EFH plus the measure of angle HFG equals the measure of angle EFG. All right, so that was 2x plus 2. So there's all this junk right here. You have this right here is all this junk I'm about to write out. And then the whole thing's a right angle, so it equals 90 degrees. So I'm going to get 3x plus 3 equals 90 degrees. Subtract 3 from both sides. I'm going to get 3x equals 87. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 29. Plug it in. I'm going to get 29 plus 1, which is 30 degrees. And then 2 times 29 plus 2 going to give me 60 degrees, which again, 60 plus 30 equals a whole thing, 90. So remember, all this stuff, angle addition postulate, angle bisector, this is the nuts and bolts of geometry, the basics. It's really good stuff for practicing the logic behind it, setting a foundation while also reviewing some algebra stuff. Try these next two problems on your own, and then you're donezo.